Okay, folks, I found this while I was on tour. I was just in Epping and I found this. It's something that means a lot to me in the future when I want to get in touch with my partner Luigi. Let's see how we go with this, folks. This interesting piece. I think I want dot matrix original with this one. I think I'm going to make this one 400%. Okay, let's see what this is. It is Greyhound Australia. In other words, this is a luggage tag for a Greyhound. I haven't been on a Greyhound for decades, but basically I'm hoping that when I get in touch with my partner Luigi, I could go on a trip with him to, I'd like to go to Brisbane. I really miss going there, and I was thinking about going there to Brisbane recently, but I'm a bit up in the air at the moment. I was thinking of going on tour up there, but I've got a problem with my right knee. It gets very sore. I've had this knee problem for nearly 3 weeks. So it's not really good for me to do too much walking on it. And that's come up looking really quite a treat. I'm going to maybe enlarge it a bit less, but it looks really nice. But I'd like to go, I normally travel with Premier coach service. I don't normally use Greyhound anymore. I haven't been on a Greyhound for more than 2 decades, but basically, I did have a bad experience with a Greyhound once, but I think it was partly my fault, even though the driver basically, we were told we had to be back at 1:45 on a meal trip, a rest stop, and the bus driver was meant to say 1:45 or something, but he said it like this. He said 1:45, and I didn't know he meant 1:45. He I thought he meant 1:45, and he nearly drove off without me and another passenger who also had the same idea, that she thought that he meant 1:45, not 1:45. And I just hated the way he just said 1:45. It was just too ambiguous, but, it happens, folks. And the funny thing was, I went on a trip up there with Premier, and I actually ran into that lady who was also nearly stranded on that Greyhound bus. I don't know how I knew it was her or how she knew it was me, but this was back in 2012 or 2013. I think it was 2012. I was doing a lot of travelling, and basically I ran into her, and that was back in 1991 when I had that incident. We nearly missed our bus. Our bus just drove off, and we just had to chase it down. So, but that turned me off Greyhound. But I know it's probably. It was just a misunderstanding, folks. I'm sure Greyhound do provide a good service overall. It was just that one driver that wasn't clear enough, stating it was 1:45, not 1:45. He should have just said 1:45. But I'm sure Greyhound do provide a good service, but ever since then I was travelling with Premier. I think Premier is cheaper, but I think Greyhound have got more more places you can go to, whereas Premier's quite small compared, because Greyhound, don't forget, have their origins, if I'm correct, in the US, and this is an Australian version of this company. But I really love catching coaches instead of going by plane, and train's good as well. Train's even cheaper because I'm on the disability support pension, and I get but effectively 2 return trips for free as long as I don't go over the border. But I have to pay for the border crossing if I want to go, say, to Brisbane. But it's still really good price. But I prefer the bus to the train, to be honest, folks. I prefer the road rather than the rail, but rail, as I said, rail's good. But I really enjoy the coach. There's something about the road that you just can't get in any other transport, and I'm not much of a plane person. An aircraft, I want to just use that for when I go overseas, or if I have to just be... If I was doing business, I'd probably use the plane in order to go from one place to another within hours, but normally I'd rather use road or rail because it's more relaxing, it's more real, it's more holiday-like. Hitting the road is just really nice. And I'd like to go by car as well with Luigi, my partner. I'm trying to get in touch with him through the 6 o'clock news on Channel 9, which has proven difficult, but I'm not going to give up, folks. And that's come up looking really quite interesting. I think we can now call this demo quits.